Hi, folks, and welcome to the Saturday Morning Samoflange. I'm Matt on my own. Still. I messed up. Benjamin is coming. He is coming. I spoke to him. We're going to have lots of good shows together. But we must wait. And we must wait a little bit longer. His show is starting, and he's just a little busy because he's going to be doing a movie, another mini movie after that. So he has been busy, but he does want to come back. I was writing down some maybe topics for us. One that I thought was just hilarious, but I'm just going to skip it. I'm not skip it. I'm going to do the ones that I wrote down because I wasn't happy with. Well, one of them I am happy with, which is shows that went too long. Okay, but of course when it's just me, I can't go 30 minutes by myself. So I added some other topics too. The other topic. This is a topic that came up this past Sunday. My brother traveled cross country last year. And he went to a couple of baseball fields. And I was thinking, wow, what are my top 5 baseball fields I'd like to see? So I'm going to give you that one before I get to the main one here. And this one's quite easy. 2 of them are because my brother visited them. Number 5 is Coors Field. He visited the Colorado Rockies, loved it, took pictures, told me all about it, said it was beautiful. I've heard this from my brother-in-law, too, who has also traveled up there. And so Coors Field, which was nowhere on my list to begin with. I think originally honorable mentions would be Busch Stadium because I always hear good things about that, and that's a classic place to go. Anyway, but Coors Field has replaced it now because I hear so many good things about it. And the other one that I really want to go to, that I've always wanted to go to, and I was super happy he got to go to, was Kauffman Stadium, which is in Kansas City Royals. There it has the fountains. I think it is set to be, the Royals are possibly moving or renovating. I don't know what it is. I think they're still up in the air if they're going to stay on that side of Kansas City or not. But either way, Kauffman Stadium's very beautiful with the fountains and everything in the background. Whenever I watch a game there, it feels so peaceful and seems so nice. I don't know. And I've always wanted to go there. I mean, that was always that when I was a kid watching ESPN, that and Tiger Park, not Comerica Park, but Tiger Park, were 2 that I always got to see. Cecil Fielder hitting home runs off the top roof. I'm like, dude, I'd love to go there. I don't know, for some reason, those were the parks that always attracted me as a kid. So Kauffman Stadium, my brother went, said it was absolutely wonderful, and I agree with him. Kauffman Stadium, my number 4. Making this really quick because no one really cares about baseball but me. The next 2 stadiums, everyone will know of. It is Fenway Park, of course, classic Fenway, home of the Red Sox. I believe my wife got to go to a game. She went up to Boston on a business trip, and she was asking for places to go, and I told her, go to Fenway Park. And she always wanted to go to a baseball game, so she got tickets and got to go to Fenway Park. And wow, not to say it was wasted on her, but she's not that big of a baseball fan, and she had fun because watching live baseball is fun, but oh my goodness, to get to go to Fenway Park, that would have been a blast for me. Anyway, mainly because of its history and everything, and it's an older stadium. Of course, I'd love to go there. Another one, speaking of history, is number 2, Wrigley Field. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to go to Wrigley Field? You saw it all the time on WGN, home of the Cubs. I'm sure it's hard to get tickets. It's a smaller field, but it's got a lot of personality. It's got a lot of history. It looks beautiful. I know that is an ivy-covered brick wall that can hurt you, but it's so beautiful. It's old school baseball at its finest. And Wrigley Field would be absolutely downright fantastic if I was to visit it. But obviously my number 1 is the Mets, right? Citi Field. Obviously I'd want to go to the Mets Stadium. I mean, that's the number 1. Biased because I want to see the Mets, but biased I want to be there. The Big Apple's there and everything. Citi Field looks nice. Yes, it's not Shea Stadium. I would have loved to have gone to Shea Stadium. The only time my family went up to New York, I did not go because I was at work. I had work. And they didn't go to Shea Stadium, and I really wanted to go to Shea Stadium. You're thinking, Matt, you like history. Would you want to go to Yankee Stadium? No, screw the Yankees. Never want to go step foot in there. Patooey, I say. Maybe if the Mets were playing. But then I'd have to burn my clothes after I left the stadium, so maybe. I don't know. Anyway, but that's top 5 stadiums. So if you're a baseball fan, I don't know, you can give me your top 5 stadiums in the list below. I just thought I'd just make that one. I knew that Benjamin has no interest And baseball stadiums. My brother and I always said if we won the lottery, we'd buy an RV and then just travel and go to every baseball game, every baseball stadium. That's what we would do. We'd bring Dad along too. But anyway, I knew Benjamin wasn't interested, so that was it. One that I thought about with me and Benjamin, but I've decided not to. Folks, our zoo, the Monroe Zoo, is honestly the worst zoo in existence. If you have a worse one, please let me know. I will put our zoo up against anyone else's as the absolute worst zoo in the States, by far. There's a lot of things we don't have. And I thought of it, and this would be a great topic for the missus. If people don't know, the missus did 1 full year of co-hosting the show with me, and then at the end she said, I'm never coming back, and she hasn't come back since. I've asked her several times to come back on Saturday Morning Samoflange, but she says no. This is a topic that we never got to do, and I thought about it, maybe something for Benjamin, but I don't know how much Benjamin enjoys the zoo or whatnot. I just know that my kids had a pass to the zoo, an annual pass, and it was awful. The people there were awful. When I complained, the guy said, do you just want a refund on your annual ticket? Like, do you just want me, can we just buy you out so you won't come back? I mean, that's how awful this zoo is. The zoo is completely terrible. It's a terrible place. It's where happiness and animals go to die, if there are any animals left. It's funny because in our zoo in Louisiana, they have alligators. Dude, we don't need a zoo to see an alligator. But because a few stumbled in during the last time it flooded, they decided to keep them, and now we showcase alligators, which you can find anywhere. But anyway, I was going to do top 5 animals I'd like to see at our zoo. And I'm going to go in order of shock value, maybe. So shock value. Shock that you will not believe our zoo does not have this. One would be a gorilla. Yep, we don't have a gorilla. I know the Jackson Zoo did, and I'll be honest, for some reason, the gorilla was the coolest thing to see at the zoo. Maybe because it moved around a little bit. I don't know. Like the monkeys are always fun to see, but a gorilla, that's huge. And then, of course, there's the, 1,000 men versus a gorilla, who would win? The men. Would I want to be in that fight? No, I would not. But man would win against a gorilla. Yes, a gorilla's tough, but a lot of men, yeah, they're gonna eventually kill the gorilla. That's my take on it. Is it 100 or is it 1,000? Hold on. If it's 100, could 100 take? Is it? Hold on. 1,000 men versus one gorilla. Is that it? No, it's 100 men versus a gorilla. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna go for the gorilla then. Yeah, if it was 1,000, I'd say they'd overwhelm. But 100, I don't know. Yeah, I'm still going for the gorilla. Had to think about it. All right. Anyway, but I'd love to have a gorilla. We don't have one. And by the way, the zoo was. Originally I wanted to do a top 5 places I never want to go to again. But I could only think of 2. 2 places I never want to go to. I never want to go to our zoo. And I never want to go to Disney World. I think it's a total waste of money. I went with a buddy of mine to Universal and then broke down the price, that I paid per rides I rode. I paid $50 to ride these 1-minute, 2-minute rides. $50 each. That's not worth it. Or maybe it was $20. Yeah, I think it was $20. Never mind. Yeah, $20. $20 to ride a 2-minute ride. That's $10 a minute to ride a ride. No thanks. It's just not worth it. If food was included, I don't know. Maybe if food was included. But still, food's not included. It's just price of ticket. And then the rides you get off that ticket, $20. No way. Not worth it. Not going to do it again. But then I couldn't think of other places. Like, I didn't want to do it with restaurants because I think a long time ago we did do a top 5 restaurants we don't like or overrated restaurants. I can't recall, but I think we did. Maybe it's time for an update. Maybe that's one I can do with Benjamin. But either way, the zoo was definitely one of the places I would never care to go to again. Our zoo, at least. Because number 5, the other thing that they don't have, or number 4, excuse me, is an elephant. Now, that's not uncommon, I think, because, elephants, a lot of old circus elephants went to the zoos, and now, they're kind of dying off. But either way, we don't have an elephant. We did a long time ago. Dude, I want to say it fell and broke its foot, and we had to shoot it. I want to say that was the case, or something happened, and it had an accident, and it failed, and it broke its back or something. I don't know, and it died. Either way, we don't have an elephant. Number 3, that's just as outrageous. This one's, oh man, yeah, these are getting hard. But what's outrageous? We don't have giraffes. We used to a long time ago. We don't anymore. I don't know what happened to the giraffes. Again, I'm not a regular zoo goer, but what's a zoo without gorillas, elephants, or giraffes? Now, I'm not done yet because there's some bigger shocker ones at my zoo. But we don't have giraffes. Not that giraffes are the best thing, but I remember they had the giraffes over a fence, and sometimes they would eat leaves over the fence, so you could kind of see them stick their head over the fence, which I thought was kind of fun. You know, watching you put the food source next to the people so the people can see them. That's really nice. But now those giraffes are long gone. Number 2. Which one is more shocking here? I don't know. I'm going to go with the tiger. Our tiger died of old age, and they have a picture of the tiger. In the tiger's, I'm not making this up. In the tiger's den, there's a picture of the tiger and some flowers. I'm sure they're fake because they've been there forever. That's it. We don't have a real tiger. Or the last tiger we had died. It didn't do much anyway. You could tell it was old. It didn't want to do nothing but sit in its little cubby hole. I don't blame it because it's freaking hot. Okay, but we don't have a tiger, and that's kind of shocking. So again, tigers, giraffes, gorillas, elephants, we don't have. You know what we don't have that every zoo has, but zebras. We don't have zebras either. Zebras, giraffes, tigers, gorillas. If you're thinking, Matt, what do you have? We have one hippo, which is shocking. Shocking we have a hippo. We have lions, plural, male and female lion. And then we have like maybe some dogs and cats and chickens. I don't know. Not much. Peacocks, some birds, some monkeys, some baboons, some snakes. And that's it. Some maybe gophers or something. I don't know. We don't have much. I think we have some coyotes. I don't know. It's just such a waste and no one cares. I mean, honestly, the zoo looks like there's trash in corners. There's empty lots that just haven't been, kept up. And it just looks trashy, and a lot of the buildings look abandoned. I mean, it ran overgrown with weeds and stuff. I mean, it's just awful. It's a zoo that nobody cares about. And I'll be honest, it's in the bad side of town. Years ago, I heard they got an offer to move the zoo to a better part of town. It's in a pretty shifty part of town right now. But they said, no, we'll keep the zoo where we have it. And of course, people still go for Boo at the Zoo, the little candy thing they give out there. I hate going there. I despise going there. It's just added on to the billion other reasons that I hate Halloween, is that we have to celebrate Boo at the zoo there. And then that's it. They do an Easter egg hunt every Easter, but thankfully my wife doesn't want to do that. And they have a splash pad, which they rarely open. It's open now. Well, no. It's open next week. No, it's open now. It is open now. Never mind. It is open now. And it closes really fast. Like mid-August it closes. And the thing is, it's still hot in October. But they won't keep it open. Because it's expensive to run a splash pad. So they like to cut that off. But that was the newest thing they got. And it's open for like 2.5 months out of the year. And we're 10 months. Well, to be fair, 8 months. You could open that thing up for 8 months. And there'd rarely be a cool day. Like, it's warm all through October. So October, all through the months, September and October, May and April, you could definitely do it. So close it for November, December, January, and February. March is when you'd open it, though there may be some cold days in March. So maybe not. We'll say 7 just to be safe. Because in April, it's definitely going to be time. In fact, April and October may be the best months to go. To go that splash pad. But they don't do that because, running water is expensive and they can't feed animals there either, so why have fun at it? Anyway, it's just so pathetic. Such a pathetic place. My kids always get a pass to the zoo. The past couple of years, they got a pass to the zoo or pass to the park. 2 years ago, I think we got the zoo, and I hated every minute of it, so we got the park. And this year we were supposed to get the zoo again, but I begged them, no, let's do park. So we did park again. So park, a little bit better. Park has just as much animals as the zoo, too. Who knew? So there you go. It's a win-win. But either way, those were top 5 animals I wish were at our zoo. Those were the lame ones. But that killed enough time to where I can talk about my main topic here, which is the top 5 TV shows that went too long. We've talked about shows on this podcast here that we wish would have gotten extra seasons, but now I'm going to talk about some that probably they definitely needed to be shorter to be good. And I think I'm even going to give my estimated. Yeah, I'm going to give how many seasons each one of these should have gone. I think I'm going to do that. Yes, I am. Here we go. My first one was one of my favorites. It was X-Files. Now, X-Files did get some extra bonus seasons, and that was nice. But when should it have stopped? X-Files should have stopped and just gone with movies, to finish up big storylines. And it should have stopped, in my opinion, after 7 seasons. Now, they can combine the other seasons, the other 2 seasons off, but the last 2 seasons, you could tell it was kind of stretching, right? Reyes was terrible. Agent Reyes was terrible. Doggett was pretty good, and that's why I say you kind of shorten in, his 2 seasons of storytelling into maybe the last 2 seasons of X-Files, because Agent Doggett was really interesting. He replaces Mulder. And Mulder would have been stepping out anyway, but then you could have ended the series up on a high point, leave it up to some crappy movies. But, tighten up the story, finish it up maybe, and make it a little bit better. I wish they would have done that. And X-Files, I loved watching it. I will never rewatch that show. Chris Carter had no idea how to end it. He knew how to tell good mysteries, but he didn't know how to resolve them. And if you can't resolve them, what's the point? What's the point of watching? That's why X-Files will always be forgotten over time. It will never be remembered after my generation is gone. I truly believe that. And if they would have completed the story, yes, it would still be in replay today. And then you make movies about one-off stories. Maybe that's what you do. But either way, X-Files should have ended. They should have wrapped up the entire storyline, and then every once in a while come back with a movie and still would have been as big as ever. But that's what poor storytelling gets you. Anyway, number 4 is a show that I really didn't like, but I know Steven, my old roommate, who's probably listening to this, will agree with me. He got me into Smallville. I only watched it because of him. And I watch whatever my roommates were watching at the time. That's what I would watch because I don't really watch that much TV. So when it came to him, I never watched Smallville, but I did with him. I did end up finally after he left. I watched it for like 2 more years and went, "What am I doing?" and stopped. And then finally, because I'm a completionist, went back to watch the last however many seasons it was, and it was just awful the whole way through. But I really wish they would have stopped after, and I'm going to say 6 seasons. Now here's the thing. Take the other 4 seasons that they kept going and combine them. Because there's a lot of it was just slow storytelling where nothing much happens. There's a lot of moping and who's in love with who and whatnot. I get it's WB show, but just squeeze in a lot of the good stuff. Cherry pick the good storylines, the good guest cameos from season 7 through 10. And put it together and have him busting out the cape and the suit at the end of season 6. I think you got a nice, tight storyline, one that you could rewatch over and over again. And yes, it would have been nice if they'd have made Tom Welling be in a Superman movie after that, just to test out the waters. I think it would have been successful. But season 6, I can't remember when Lex Luthor left. But when he left, I think it was season 6, the whole thing went down, and I hated that storyline anyway, so that's why you would kind of pull in more stories from 7, 8, 9, and 10. Believe me, there's plenty of fluff in there where you could combine those and sprinkle those into the last, seasons 5 and 6 of Smallville. But that's when, for me, when Lex Luthor was gone, that was it. There was nothing else for me to watch or care about. And for me, that's where it's at. And you had 6 seasons. You have 6 tight seasons. I think it does well. You get all the highlights. I think it was, season 5 was when Jonathan Kent dies. So that's kind of spurring him on his way. And then Martha Kent's storyline just kind of died. I mean, she becomes a senator. That's how they write her off. But she's really pointless after that, after Jonathan Kent passes away. So, season 6 is her mourning, getting back on her feet, watching her boy grow up, and then later on become Superman. That way you don't have to worry about what, dude, I almost called her Lana Lang because she played Lana Lang in Superman 4, which I thought was a great casting, by the way. But I thought that Martha Kent, and she was a good Martha Kent, her storyline wouldn't have gone to waste. They could have used Lex Luthor for way better storytelling in the last few seasons where now he kind of knows who Superman is. Maybe he finds out at the end when he sees Clark going. And he goes, oh, wait a minute, that's Clark Kent. Wait a minute, I know what's going on here. So he knows his roots and whatnot. But anyway, a few other things need to be done. Like the guy needed glasses. He needed to be Clark Kent with glasses, But they didn't want to do that. I get it. It's a CW show. And so they wanted to make it for tweens or whatnot. And that's what you get. But either way, Smallville would have benefited from a shorter season. Number 3. Are these shows I care about? Is this what we're doing in? Well, then Smallville would have been number 5, and X-Files would have been number 4 if it's shows I really care about. Number 3 is Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica, to be fair, Season 1, just awesome. Just some of the best TV you'll ever watch is Season 1. Season 2 is good. Not great, like the first season, but good. Season 3 is, it's meh. It's not bad, it's not good, it's kind of stuck in the middle. And Season 4 is absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Terrible stuff. So, how many seasons should it have gone? 2. 2 seasons. Keep first season as it is, it's perfect. And then within the second season, wrap that story up. No one else is a Cylon. Only one Cylon. By the end of the show, everyone's a hidden Cylon. But, you wrap it up, you do something quick, season 2, bam, it's gone. Maybe then you do a movie. I don't know. But, 2 seasons, then a movie for a big war at the end, which everyone loves. But 2 seasons is all it needs to go. And please, please, please do not do anything from Season 4. You just cut out all Season 4, give it a better ending. You can cut out all of Season 3 too. And you can tighten up Season 2 and give it a great ending. And it's a great 2-season show that people say, oh, it should have been more. But we know. 2 seasons was all it should have gone. And it sucks because I can't suggest, and when I watched Battlestar Galactica, Season 1, I thought it was one of the best things I ever saw. I almost bought it on DVD, like the whole season, the whole series. Because I thought, wow, if it's anything like this season, it's going to be awesome. Then I watched 2 and I went, okay, still good. And then I watched 3 and goes, ooh, I really hope they save this because it seems to be nosediving. But then they didn't. So 2 seasons for Battlestar Galactica. That's all you get. Should it make? I mean, it did make references, I believe, to the first one, which was nice. But I think I would not give any storyline to 3 or 4. I would just rewrite the end and keep some of season 2, but then give it a stronger ending. And then you're done. You're out. Nobody knows better. Bob's your uncle, and you move on. All right, you're welcome. Number 2, Walking Dead. Walking Dead went, I don't know. It says 10 seasons, but I mean, season 10 was split up into 3 different seasons. It's had like 6 spin-offs or something. All Fear the Walking Dead, the New World Order, or whatever it was called. And then 5, I guess, or 6. I can't remember. They've got a lot of spin-offs here. But the thing is, they're not good. They're not good. I watched the main show. I tried to watch Fear the Walking Dead twice and quit it twice because it was just garbage. New World Order or whatever it's called, never even bothered. And any of the spin-offs, no, I'm done. This series is just garbage. Absolute garbage. Absolute crap. Just terrible stuff. And when watching Walking Dead, where's it in? Well, season 6. It goes 6 seasons. And hear me out. So the Negan season happens maybe in 5, a little bit after the governor. They encounter Negan. You tighten that up a little bit. And then 6 can be the Whispers. And then they find the last station at the end. And then it's over. You got to end that quick. You got to end that before everyone's grown up, moved on, shipped out, become less interesting. You keep it tight. Keep the series tight. I will never rewatch Walking Dead ever again. I'll reread the comic book. Definitely again. And I might reread the books since I found out that they decided you didn't know if the books tied into the TV show or the comic books. And then in the last book, when the TV show was really taking a nosedive, they said, we'll stick to the comic books. And so they sided with the comic book storyline. But the books aren't really the best either. They're interesting, but not as good. The comic book is where it's at. I will reread that. I will never rewatch Walking Dead again. It goes 6 seasons. Should they do Fear the Walking Dead? Fear the Walking Dead should have gone 3 seasons. Interesting characters, but they were basically done after 2 seasons. So I'll give them a 3rd season to wrap up any storylines and things I didn't get to see. Because I felt after season 2, it still had something. It was lacking a lot, but still had something to show. But maybe just surely I didn't see anything after 4, I don't think. But surely they did something right to go that long. I don't know. But anyway, kind of combine storylines. Give that spinoff a 3rd one. I would not do any other spinoffs for anything else. Maybe do the little TV movies they were talking about afterwards if you want to know more about their adventures. That's a big, big maybe. But anyway, Walking Dead 6. And finally, excellent show, Cobra Kai. Love it, but it did go too long. We talked about this on Saturday Morning Samoflange, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But with Cobra Kai, I believe 4 seasons would have been just right. 4 seasons. And you have to really scrunch. You don't have to really scrunch it. It's not that bad. But you scrunch up and clean up some of the storylines. There's a lot that I would just take out completely. I would take out completely a lot of the kids' storylines and whatnot. I would only have one flip-flop as the kids keep falling in love with each other and flipping-flopping this way and that way. I would probably only do one flip-flop like that and then move on. Like Robbie and Daniel's daughter, see, I don't even know her name anymore, and Tori and Miguel, they flip partners. And then that's it. That's it, you know. But 4 seasons, they could have gotten all their cameos in, could have had a great time. Like I said, drop a few stories in between, the seasons 2 through 4, and slot in some of the ones from the last 2 seasons in there. And yeah, I'd probably stop. I wouldn't even go to the Satai Matai or whatever. I would probably stop with Silver, because Silver was excellent in those seasons, and then it just seemed tired after a while. Even though I loved Cobra Kai, but I'm gonna say 4 seasons. 4 seasons, you tighten it up, and it's the best thing you've ever seen. Now, as of this video, I have not seen Karate Kid Legends. I will have. Now, as of recording this video, I should say, but I am watching it later on. And I don't know what it's going to be like. I do expect that to be one of our reviews, is to review Karate Kid Legends. I'm hoping Benjamin can go with me. I don't know what his schedule is going to be like, but I'm hoping he can come with. But yeah, I am excited to see what it'll bring. It's tying in the reboot movie, but I like Jackie Chan, so I'm not really worried about that. It's one of the few movies I want to see in theaters. I did very briefly, since I got a few minutes, I did see Mission Impossible. It was fine. It was great. My nephew and I agree. I think part 1 was better. And overall, this will be middle of the pack, the last one. It's a good one. It's a fine one. I enjoyed it, but it's going to run middle of the pack, for me. Middle of the pack. I'll have to rewatch all of them again someday. Ghost Protocol being my favorite, if I remember. However, I am open to watching them all again and giving my final assessment. Maybe I'll watch them all over again next year. I don't know. But either way, Mission Impossible is fine. Karate Kid Legends, I'll do a full review, full breakdown here on Saturday Morning Samoflange, hopefully with Benjamin. That may be the first one we do. And then I got my other movies that I want to see this year. I think when I said my top 5, all of them are happening right now because Ballerina's coming up. And then later on, Conjuring 4, which better not suck. And because if it does, I'm basically done with the whole series. And then Predator Badlands, which does not look good. But because Prey was so good, I'll give it a shot. There was something else. Oh, Nobody 2, which I didn't know was coming out. I have to go back because I don't think I had this on my top 5. But it's coming out in August, and definitely want to see that as well. But that's nothing to what the topic was, just some extra stuff to talk about. Anyway, so let me know, what TV shows do you think went too long? And how many seasons do you think they should have gone instead? Like, when should it have ended? Let me know in the comments below. I'm very interested. Like I said, this is an idea I had for Benjamin, but of course, I don't know if he could talk much on this subject. I just never talked to him about it. So I decided to go ahead with a few other extras I had sitting around here. But Benjamin will be back. I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers here and hoping he's going to come back maybe next time. So this may be the last time I say it on my own. I'm going to relish this, but we'll see you then on Saturday Morning Samoflange.